Hi, this is Mason here, and you listen to Coffee Kenobi.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
This is Ashley Eckstein, Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Zehr.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi, your family-friendly, spoiler-free Star Wars podcast where intelligent conversation and a splash of humor bring fans together from across the galaxy. I'm your host, Dan Zehr, educator and Star Wars author. Whether you're a lifelong Jedi Master or just hopped off your first Star Cruiser, grab your calf and join us as we explore the mythology, philosophy, and wonder of a galaxy far, far away, one conversation at a time. Coffee with Kenobi is more than a podcast. It's a community. Together we celebrate the people, stories, and experiences that make Star Wars so special, creating a space where fans can come together and share their voices. Thank you to the official travel partner of CWK, MEI Travel, and Mouse Fan Travel. Check out coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel for a no-cost, no-obligation quote, and let them know Coffee with Kenobi and Dan Zehr sent you. There are all kinds of great offers right now for Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and amazing things happening on the Disney Cruise Line. Plus, using Mouse Fan Travel is a great way to support me and this show. Speaking of the show, we've got a great one for you today. Tom Gross and Cory Clubb join me to talk about the long-anticipated Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu full trailer. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite mug, and let's have coffee with Kenobi. Well, hello there, friends. You know, this is a show that has been in the works for a while. We were just waiting for the right opportunity. And then we get it, the actual full trailer for Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we got ourselves out of carbonation, and we're going to talk all about our opinions of this trailer. Now, I said we, and that indicates there are other people on the show with me. And of course, there are. First, we're going to bring in the number one Grogu fan in the Coffee with Kenobi family, Tom Gross.
That is true. I would challenge anybody to that one. It's great to be here. It's kind of like coming home when I'm on this show. This is where, Dan, you got me started in doing podcasting right here. So great to be here.
It's great. And yeah, exactly. This is a special one. So you got to bring in the heavy hitters, and there's no heavier hitter than the original co-host and co-creator of Coffee with Kenobi, the biggest Mandalorian fan in the Coffee with Kenobi family I know, Cory Clubb.
It is true. This is the way. I'm glad to be back. My seat is still warm. I think. Thank you for that. And like Tom said, this is where it all happens. This is where we get breaking things down, get excited, start waving the flags, and kicking it off. I'm ready for it.
It's the bread and the butter. And I'll let you both decide who's the bread and who's the butter.
Oh.
Look, this was an interesting one because we had during the Super Bowl, as you may have heard, there was a trailer that dropped, and apparently there was a lot of discussion about it, which I largely just didn't pay any attention to, just because I had other things that were grabbing my attention. And also, I just had a sense. So let's just talk briefly about the original trailer. It was only about 30 seconds long. It was during the Super Bowl. Cory, what did you think of that one?
You know, I watching the Super Bowl, I was waiting for some big things to drop, and we live a different age. I think nowadays it's like you always see it on the Super Bowl. But, you know, I feel like recently it's been like, oh, watch a little bit here and then go check it out online, the full thing. Or they're kind of trying to shift your expectations in the sense of we have ability to do something small to get something large. And before you couldn't do it. You just had to watch the Super Bowl and find out. But now it's like, I like the way they're marketing this because I feel like it's a tease before the big reveal. And it's smart. I think it's really smart to do this stuff with these products and stuff, especially these movies that are so larger than life. Some are blockbusters. I loved it. I love the fact that they played into the fact that, they know what this ad is going to be during the Super Bowl. It kind of tied in some of the old Super Bowl tropes, if you will, as well. And they just went with it. They're having fun. This whole piece of the Star Wars canon is fun. And I think that I'm excited for it. And I couldn't be more happy for what they did with it. The Tauntauns riding in and kind of felt Old West, but yet it felt like kind of a Budweiser commercial, but Star Wars-y. There are a lot of things going on, but I think it left you wanting a lot more. So,
okay, so I think I'm assuming that would be the intention of what Lucasfilm and Disney had in mind.
Oh, for sure.
When their public relations team was putting that together. Tom, what about you? When you saw that trailer, I'm going to guess there was squealing at the Gross household, and that wasn't from the girls. It wasn't from your daughters. It might have been, but there was another one, a chief in the bunch.
Yes. I mean, there's no squealing during the Super Bowl, that. But yeah, for sure, it when that came on. I was pumped. I was excited. There's Grogu. Teams. I think I texted you guys right away. Teamster Grogu.
Yes,
driving the team. Yoo-hoo. And I didn't even make the connection to the tongue-in-cheek, traditional Super Bowl commercial with the Budweiser commercial, all that. I was just I was so enraptured by Grogu is driving a team of Tauntauns. Sweet. I was just pumped for that. I totally missed it until people started talking about it. And then I was like, oh, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, in hindsight, of course, because I didn't get it originally. But I thought it was a ton of fun. I'm with you both. This was just fun to see, fun to watch. But I will be honest, I thought there would be another one after the half, sort of a continuation of that maybe, revealed something more, a location, something, but we didn't get it. And I was okay with that, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a ton of fun.
So when I was watching the game, because as I've said a lot, I'm so into the NFL that I'm laser focused, even when it's not the Bears. And I was expecting a Mando trailer. And so all of a sudden it comes up and, people were talking and I looked and I said out loud to no one in particular, is that a Tauntaun? Is that a Tauntaun? And then my brain goes into writing mode. And I'm thinking, well, there's no Tauntauns that I'm aware of during this time period and blah, blah. And then I'm like, wait, shh, everybody. It's the Tauntauns. Here it is. And we watch it and I keep waiting for something to happen. And I thought to myself, nothing's going to happen. This is a complete parody on the classic Budweiser Super Bowl commercials with a little Star Wars humor. It raises awareness of the product. It shows us the Mandalorian. It shows a cute thing of Grogu because at the end of the day, no matter what, this is about making money. This is about garnishing attention for a product. And if I were in charge like you, Tom, I would have hoped that at the end it would have said something like, turn to StarWars.com now for the exclusive full trailer. And I looked for that right away. It wasn't there. Yes, I was actually a little disappointed, but I wasn't upset because I thought, well, they're bound to have one. This is not something that is going to be other than a gateway to get some excitement going. And it obviously worked because everybody was talking about it. And then we get a real trailer, a full trailer. Let's go around the horn really quickly. One word to describe the trailer and just kind of immediate initial reactions to it. I don't have a word yet. Do either of you? I can come up with one. I'm going to say applause. I'm saying applause. Because after the first trailer, because we hadn't heard anything about it, there were very few little things. There was a teaser trailer a bit ago, and I was just like, okay. But it didn't really show me anything to show me that this was a big Star Wars movie because we haven't had a Star Wars movie in theaters since 2019. That was 7 years ago, which is crazy to think about. But it's been a while. So I was hoping for something to just blow me away. And I would think if based on that trailer, if that didn't get you excited about this movie, then I don't honestly know what will do so. So that's my initial reaction. Applause.
Dan, that's my word. Excited. I'm gonna go with excited because, like you said, I didn't know what to expect. Now we had the teaser, I think maybe back in December, around Christmas time, I think it was.
Mhm.
It didn't show a whole lot, and I know going into this film, like it feels to me as a fourth season of Mando, kind of launching into maybe a tail end of this character. It feels like, oh, they're not going to put together a fourth season. They're just going to do a movie. What will this entail? Where are they going to go? And I kind of felt lukewarm. No pun intended.
Right.
But sure. But I was glued to the screen with this. I was excited. I started getting goosebumps. There was all different settings, lots of action, lots of comedy. And it started off with the classic Star Wars theme. Like,
yes,
I was literally like, I don't know. I felt like a kid again. I didn't expect this, but I was excited right away. And I sent the trailer to my two other sons. I said, I think Star Wars is back.
Tom?
Yeah. This is where I would insert the squee, but I will go something a little bit different and say, and I mean this in the most positive way. I'm going to say same. It's everything I wanted because it's everything I loved about The Mandalorian. Grogu horsing around, The Mandalorian kicking butt. I mean, the Razor Crest, what? I mean, so much that I just was like, this is exactly what I was hoping to see, is the stuff that I love about The Mandalorian and Star Wars. So same.
Yeah, so full disclosure, it dropped and I was, in the middle of teaching, so I wasn't going to watch it when I was, teaching. But when I had a break in the day, I ran into Tom's office and he was typing away and I said, by the way, the new Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped, and he went, And I said, so we'll have to watch this. And he goes, and you said something along the lines of, well, what are you doing right now? Something like that. So he hit play, and the first scene is those X-Wings, and Tom's a gorgeous shot. And it was cinematography was gorgeous. And after 5 seconds, I did something I never do. I said out loud, okay, this is going to be great. I just knew from that shot, this was the tone that we love. This is Star Wars. X-Wings, a gorgeous setting, the beautiful music, done by Ludwig Göransson again, which is great because he didn't do season 3 of Mando. He just did seasons 1 and 2. So to see that and to see them setting the stage for that was magnificent. So let's give a couple of things. We'll just do one at a time. Everybody take a few turns. Things that stood out to you about the trailer. Cory, why don't you start?
I only watched it one time, but replaying it in my own head right now, I just remember a lot of action. The mix and blend of action and comedy, and like Tom, like you said, the kind of the Mandalorian tropes, if it will. They've kind of set this world up to be like have fun, but mysterious, but also like the banter between Mando and Grogu, and just the little cookies and the eating. Just like I was transported to like the first season of Mandalorian again, and then but within Star Wars, it felt like this is now part of Star Wars, and this is kind of the mythos of it. And I thought I really blown away. That balance of all those factors really stood out to me in this trailer. I really was glad to see that, and they're not trying to go for like a darker tone or like something completely different. No, this is the way it should be. And I think that they, like you guys said it, like this is the way Mando is. This is the way. I keep saying that, but that's exactly what they went for, and I think it really feels comfortable for me as a Mandalorian fan. They're right in their home field advantage right there.
Tom, what's the first thing that stands out to you?
I mean, you have to ask.
I do. I want some specifics, though.
I am not gonna save this. I'm Grogu, man. He's awesome. He has a name in a movie now. So besides just being crazy weird about Grogu, I mean, it's all the things we love about him. When he's pushing the buttons at the beginning, don't push buttons, and then first thing my 14-year-old says when I start showing her this trailer, she goes, "Just all I want to know is he eating cookies anywhere?" I said, "You have to watch. You just have to watch." And so she was like, "Yes, there it is." I mean, anytime he's flying, just like in the show, his ears are flapping in the wind and he's having a great time. The thing you worry about going from TV show to movie or movie, big screen to small screen is, will it translate? Will it translate? And this relationship, and Grogu himself just seems to have gone to the cinema without any adjustment. I will say a specific that really touched me, that I absolutely loved, and it's probably one of the parts of the film that I'm looking forward to the most, is when you get the back voice of Din Djarin saying he's going to live centuries longer than I will. Oh my gosh! And then they have that beautiful shot of him sitting on top of that like mossy tree or branch or whatever, and I got goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now, and it just made me so sad, because that statement, Grogu's going to have to deal with loss, which is, Jedi don't do that, but Grogu's not a Jedi. He's, and so it's like, oh my gosh, how is he going to cope with the loss? And so that really struck me as a really powerful moment of the trailer that just compels me to what brings that up? Why is Din Djarin worried about that? But Grogu, number 1,000% is my first point of this whole trailer.
And that was a beautiful, quick little sequences towards the end of the trailer, because it looks like he's sitting in Dagobah. It's not Dagobah. I have no idea, zero idea. It looked too sunny to be Dagobah. That's the only thing I'm basing it on. But at the beginning of this, we saw R2-D2. So it makes you wonder if they go back to that planet. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, because that usually doesn't work out well for me. But the thing I'm going to say that stood out for me first, besides the initial, awesomeness of those two together, is Embo. Embo is a bounty hunter, Kyuzo bounty hunter. It's Kuyzo. He's got that big flat hat that he can use as a weapon. There's a Clone Wars episode where he rides it like a snowboard. And he survived for a really long time. He's even around well after, like in the time of episode 9 and things like that, if memory serves. And he's a tough bounty hunter, and it looks like he rips the helmet off of Pedro Pascal. We know what a crime that is. Crime is not necessarily their best word, but that's a major violation of the Children of the Watch. That's definitely a no-no for his particular sect of Mandalorian subculture. So the fact that he's there, and there's also a very muscular Hutt that was in the early comic books, the first initial run of the 2019-2020 run. That is a pretty important character that fights Luke Skywalker in the comic books. He's the only muscular Hutt that there is that I'm aware of. So that was cool to see, because I don't know how much Dave is involved with this, because he's so busy with Ahsoka, but we know that this is a Jon Favreau production, and that Jon is very good friends with his right-hand man, Dave Filoni. So the fact that they're bringing a lot of people from many different parts of Star Wars besides just live action is very encouraging, and it expands, or it builds upon the very, very rich mythos, and I am very excited for things like that.
The next thing I'll call out is I was just impressed with all the different aliens and places they went to, and just like the different situations these two are getting into. There's chases, there's battles, there's giggles, there's all kinds of stuff. And one of them that stands out for me, I had to go to coffeewithkenobi.com and check out the screen cap. But the dragon snake scene, wow, that was impressive. And then what's going down here? Doesn't have the helmet on. He's no protection. He's going against this ginormous monster. What's going to happen next? Where's Grogu? There's just a lot of questions in my head. But he goes up against a lot of different enemies in this one. You mentioned Embo, the Hutt. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and it does kind of play in the fact that, like, what is the storyline? What's happening? What's their adventure this time around? And I'm glad I don't have an answer. I'm so glad that there's so many different options to which ways it's going to go. and I'm here for the ride. That's what I think I'm excited for too. Is the fact that, like, could explore some new places in the galaxy, maybe some return to some places we are familiar with, but also get to see some new things. I love that they're always exploring and pushing the envelope in the galaxy and bring us to these new worlds and aliens and things. And I agree with you. I think Dave Filoni definitely has his fingerprints on this one. He's definitely close to I'm sure speaking to or guiding the hand of these creators and Jon Favreau, the director here. So I can imagine that he didn't speak into some of these things with his loving and enduring for this franchise and these characters.
And to your point, Dan, about Embo, I mean, he's terrifying in this. Yep. He looks it's so dark when he's on the screen, and it's muddy and raining, and he just looks fierce. Which it's not that I didn't get that feeling in the Clone Wars, but it was more just he's a tenacious bounty hunter in the Clone Wars. Here, he's a scary dude, and he's really apparently has our heroes in a bind. And so that, I would say that was a big shock to see Embo. And I remember when he came on, you said his name right away. It took my memory banks a couple extra seconds, but you said it, and I was like, yes.
What's the next one on your list?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I wasn't really. I think it really is. And you mentioned one in particular. But it makes you wonder the story, like you said, Cory. But you don't just mess with Hutts, and I think this is really and so when he goes to ask about the Hutts, and you get that, what's the name of the, I don't remember the species, but Rio Durant and Solo, but that guy, he's for that money, I'll answer anything. I need a hut. Oh, shuts. It definitely it's a chuckle moment, but it also demonstrates that these are scary. We were always afraid of Jabba the Hutt, but Jabba the Hutt is so long ago in our Star Wars world that there may be people that don't understand or realize how dangerous this race is, and how involved in the criminal syndicate that they are, and that the fact that Din Djarin has some sort of a conversation to have with one, and then you see later that he's fighting the one that you mentioned, the muscle bound one that just looks absolutely kind of disgusting because he's so worm-like, but like buff and all that. Is just kind of like, ugh, okay. But to me, the Hutts are a compelling part of this trailer. Just wondering, what is he doing with dealing with Hutts?
So Rio species is Ardenian, the four-armed creatures. And interesting, the person who voices that Ardenian in the trailer is Martin Scorsese, the famous director.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. You mentioned the Hutts. The twins are there. The twins we know from the Boba Fett series. Mm-hmm. And at the end of that, their last thing we saw of them is they concede Jabba's territory on Mos Pelgo to Boba Fett. And as a gift, they give him that baby Rancor. Mm-hmm. So that's the last we'd seen of them. But it looks to me like they're in Jabba's palace. It could very well be another palace. But if they are in Jabba's palace, then where's Boba Fett?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Pretty cool stuff. The next thing I want to bring up is I'm just happy to see Pedro Pascal. He's all over the promo stuff that Disney and Lucasfilm sent over. He's all over this trailer. I think that's important. I think we have to have a big star like that because he's a huge star. And you don't see his face except for season 1 once and season 2 twice. So that is important. That's important because people who, if they see there's a Star Wars movie, they're going to go expecting to see lightsabers and Luke Skywalker type things, or possibly even Rey. But there's no reason to think they're there. Rey isn't even born yet, so she definitely isn't going to be in it. And it's you got to do something to bring in other people too. And I think that's might have been where some of the concern was with that initial trailer, because it didn't say anything about what the story is. What do we have here? We see there are remnants of the Empire still floating around, which we knew. We got rid of the big ones at the end of season 3 with Moff Gideon, but there doesn't mean there aren't others. We get to see new Stormtrooper armor. We see AT-ATs and AT-RTs of the new reconnaissance vehicles, I guess. So we're going to see a lot of fun stuff with the Empire. You mentioned the action. I think it's important for the Mandalorian to be the fiercest, toughest guy on screen all the time. And he is. And that's a part of his mystique. Very much that lone wolf and cub classic archetype that we see in a lot of literature and graphic novels and entertainment of this magnitude. So I can certainly go over it piece by piece. I don't really want to do that. I'm certainly not a tea leaves guy, so I'm not going to be pausing and looking at stuff in the background. I have other people do, and they find stuff that's exciting. That's awesome. Like I love that this is generating excitement. I have students who have said to me, Mr. Zehr, have you seen the new Mandalorian trailer? Yeah. It's just fun to have that excitement out there again. And it's coming out in just a couple of months, guys. Is there anything you want to say about this trailer? Because as soon as we hang up, I'm going to go hang up. Yeah, as soon as we stop doing the show, I'm going to go watch it again, I think.
Yeah, I've got one more. It looks like Tommy, you got one more too. I want to bring up another famous face. Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Yes.
Playing an X-Wing pilot, I guess there are someone. Yeah. And her dialogue is something along the lines that help me remember, but like trying to prevent another war of some sort or remnants of
she says this isn't about revenge. We're trying to prevent another war.
Prevent another war. Yeah. So there's some details there that you can do with what you want, but I'm glad we have another elite actress in the Star Wars mythos. I think
Colonel Ward is her name. Colonel Ward.
Colonel Ward. Okay. Yeah, I think it just brings more gravitas to this film and shows you that, some heavy hitters out there are still, showing up to do some awesome things. I'm excited for, the returning characters as well. We didn't see a whole lot in this trailer. But, in the Mandalorian world, some more bounty hunters and such, and some other characters hopefully will pop up and will be, reminiscent of the other seasons. All in all, like, again, I'll go back to my word is excited. You just mentioned that it comes out in May.
Yeah, May 22nd.
That's only a few months away. Yeah, it doesn't feel that far away. It feels attainable. And like for some reason, I'm excited for a Star Wars movie in theaters again. I feel like we haven't had one for a very long time. And I know my personal fandom was to play it down, but I'm more excited than ever for this one.
I know. I get that instinct. And by the way, I just sent you both a picture of the new Black series, Mando and Grogu from this movie. And there is no Darksaber because that was destroyed at the end of season 3. But look at the new accessory that's in the figure. See what it is?
Oh,
tell the people what it is.
A battle sword or
a sword?
It's a big sword, like a real, honest to goodness
He-Man sword.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa!
Look at the woodwork on that rifle, though.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
He's decked out.
Cycler rifle was the name of the original one. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Tom, you had something else you wanted to bring up as well.
I did. There's one more familiar character that I just wanted to mention, and it was so good to hear his voice. I like this kid, Zeb Aurelios.
Oh yeah,
pump it up. It was
Yes.
so great to hear his voice and to see his face, and just what his role in this is going to be. Who knows? It doesn't matter. I'm so excited that he's going to be here, and you never know who follows when Zeb's around. But I'm super, super excited about having Zeb.
Well, the fact that people who are not familiar with Star Wars Rebels, still to me the best thing Disney's done with the Star Wars franchise. The fact that they're going to get to know Zeb and get to see him, voiced by Steve Bloom once again, is magnificent. It's magnificent. And it's and we've said it all throughout the show. The tone of this appears to be pitch perfect. And we're thrilled. We're absolutely thrilled. Cory, I'm not sure if you're going to be around then, but I think Tom and I will save you a seat for the premiere of this thing. Well, in good old Illinois, we'll see, or maybe we'll do a road trip. Who knows?
Never know.
Who knows?
Listening to Coffee with Kenobi, you are, with Dan Zehr, the podcast you're looking for. This is... yes.
Who knows? Well, guys, what a delight, what a pleasure to share the microphone with you both once again, to get back into the Razor Crest. I'm glad it's been pieced back together. We've got a new one, whatever it is. I'm glad that we're flying it together towards a brand new Star Wars movie. Cory, what have you been up to, and where can people reach out to you if they want to ask you any questions or just say hello?
Yeah, absolutely. You can check me out online. I'm all over the place. Instagram. I almost said TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. On Twitter. Email me, CoryC@coffeewithkenobi.com if you have more thoughts on this. But I'm looking forward to this and see all my posts as I get more and more excited.
Love it. And Tom, you, of course, have your regular podcast, Teachers in the Dungeon. What is going on with that, and what news do you have for us?
Oh, well, Teachers in the Dungeon is plugging right away. We passed our 250th episode not too long ago. Wow. And just talking about games, education, new games. One of our series this year is to introduce new RPGs. Each month, a new RPG will be, we'll talk about a new one. So we just talked about one of my favorite new RPGs, at least in my world, is Starfinder. So it's a science fiction RPG. So I'm really excited about that. I've been playing that with kids in our game club. So got that. And then my blog, Seeking Positivity in the Galaxy, has been doing really well, and I've managed to keep up with it on a pretty weekly basis, and I've transferred it over. So it's not only on Blogger, Seeking Positivity in the Galaxy, but I also moved it over to, and I duplicate it over on Substack. So if you're over there, join me. Love to have you subscribe over there and just take a peek and see the things that I'm working on there.
And you may have noticed you had a new follower this week. It was Dan Zehr.
I did. It's always good to get an author following you. I love that.
So, yes, this is great. It's exciting. We'll certainly be talking about it on Coffee with Kenobi, especially as we get closer and closer to the premiere. So thank you again for your patience as we have switched over to the monthly release schedule. I appreciate your comments. We're still very active every day in the CWK Cafe, our family-friendly, spoiler-free Star Wars Facebook group. It's Coffee with Kenobi. Just go to facebook.com/CWK Cafe, or just type in Coffee with Kenobi in Facebook, and you'll be able to find that group as well. For all things Star Wars, news, reviews, videos, and more, head to our home base, coffeewithkenobi.com. Don't forget to join the CWK Cafe on Facebook at coffeewithkenobi.com/community, our family-friendly, spoiler-free group for all your Star Wars thoughts, comments, and conversation. This podcast is possible thanks to the incredible support of the CWK Alliance. Want to help keep the show brewing? For as little as $1 a month, you can join the CWK Alliance and get access to CWK Pour-Over, our exclusive weekly audio and video podcast. Learn more at coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. And know this, 10% of your monthly contributions goes directly to the St. Jude Children's Hospital. Want to connect? You can email me at danz@coffeewithkenobi.com. Follow me on X at Mr. Zehr, MRZEHR, Instagram, Threads, at Dan Zehr CWK, and Blue Sky. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can follow Coffee with Kenobi across social media on X, Instagram, Threads, Pinterest, and Blue Sky, and give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/coffeewithkenobi. And if you want to send an email to the show, you can email us feedback at coffeewithkenobi.com. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll find over 700 videos, including past live shows, events, and this podcast. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps more Star Wars fans find our little corner of the galaxy. Do you need a speaker for your next event? Visit danzmedia.com. I love to discuss mythology, leadership, storytelling, or create something tailored to your audience. And finally, Grab your CWK gear at coffeewithkenobi.com/shop and show your support in style.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
There's no one here. Move along.